The Somalian community in Minnesota is so cooked. This is like the worst PR any group of people can ever get. This YouTuber called Shirley linked up with another dude who's already been investigating fraud in the Somalian community in Minnesota, and they exposed $100 million in fraud from the Somalian community. They so cooked, this video here went so viral that the President of the United States reacted to this.
There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address.
And the government knows about this.
The government knows, they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there just writing the checks.
I don't think this is a political issue. I think this is an issue of some really bad actors ruining for everybody.
Indeed, no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in.
No.
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell? Yeah. Try to get in, rang the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. Hello, can we speak? Yeah. I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Why?
Can I speak to a manager?
Like, if you're running a legitimate business and you have nothing to hide, if somebody comes and wants to register their kids to come to the daycare, I think the least you would have is an application, right? Like, you would have an application, okay, here, fill this out and bring it back. The fact that there's no application, they're acting.
Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here. Because there's.
So why are you asking us about
the fraud? Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to a legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot.
And it's not fair, it's not okay to categorize all Somalians as scammers and fraudsters due to the actions of a few. It's not okay to treat all Somalians poorly due to the actions of a few. But when you have the President of the United States responding back and sensationalizing and vilifying all Somalians, that's gonna trickle down, right? That's gonna have other people now treat Somalians poorly. That's gonna have other people now think it's okay to be prejudiced and racist towards Somalians.
Here in Minnesota, massive fraud is taking place within the government and the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong and they said leering. This daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these childcare centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday. And if you were to try to go inside, it's completely closed and the windows are all blacked out. No one's working, midday, children should be in here, and this place is licensed for 99 children, and this is the outside. There's no windows, no nothing, and like I said, they literally spelt the word wrong on their sign. This is open and blatant fraud taking place here inside of Minnesota. The government is complicit with this, and this is just one of the hundreds of child daycare centers here inside of Minneapolis being ran by the Somali population. It's sad that it's happening here in Minnesota, and it stinks that it's happening and it's being labeled on the Somali population. However, that's just the facts of what's happening here inside of Minnesota. $1.9 million for this daycare center that can't even spell learning right.
You really pulled back up here?
Yes, sir.
Why? It's too hot for that, bro.
I know, it is hot right now. And,
Yeah.
Hold on.
You made a t-shirt?
Yes, sir. What do you think about the fraud here?
Hey, the fraud here in Minnesota, I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy. Like, what do you mean specifically? What do you mean?
Yeah, how do you feel about this daycare, for instance, receiving $1.9 million? And they couldn't even spell learning right. They spelled leering.
Hey, man, Somalis, they're an interesting creature. I'm not gonna lie, I can't say too much. I'm already too hot, but I mean, Tim Waltz, you gotta solve this stuff. Minnesota really cracked down on this because they've been doing this for years. So I can't say too much though. I'm already in some heat. Yeah.
Alrighty. Should Tim Waltz be prosecuted?
Hell yeah.
Right here you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare. Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here. No. Why can't I get healthcare here?
Wait.
Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare. Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think's been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that someone matching your description were in this building, harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
Okay.
Weird.
There's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone's fraudulent.
So we're,
He's here with some kind of like propaganda.
no, we're just checking.
No, this is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason that you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates, we asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from now multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
How do you know that you're right? How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening, and then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming so we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
That was conservative YouTuber Nick Shirley. His viral video where he's going door to door at daycares in the Minneapolis area and saying that he's uncovering massive amounts of fraud at Somali-run daycares has exploded on social media. Elon Musk retweeted the video. J.D. Vance retweeted the video. CNN is looking into Shirley's claims. This idea of fraud in Minnesota, though, is not new. In fact, for many, many years, the Department of Justice has been prosecuting cases against dozens of defendants, many of whom are concentrated in the Somali American community here in the Minneapolis area. Some of those cases actually began under Biden's DOJ in 2022 for a various list of different types of frauds. And so far, there have been at least 80 people indicted, at least 56 convictions. Attorney General Pam Bondi responded to the Shirley video, as did the FBI Director Kash Patel. Both of them say federal law enforcement has been all over this from the beginning and has secured many indictments. Further, this has become a major political headache for Governor Tim Walz because Republicans here in Minnesota say he is ultimately responsible for these fraud issues, for not doing enough to have an adequate level of accountability. Governor Walz says that he has done a lot. He's shut down one program. He's established a program integrity director. He says that he is doing what he can to try to root out this fraud.
This is ABC Learning Center in Minneapolis.
They have to learn ABC and numbers.
Director Ahmed Hassan gave WCCO a tour after finding his daycare in the national spotlight.
All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center.
In a now viral video, right-wing YouTuber Nick Shirley claims nearly a dozen daycare centers in Minnesota are taking public funds but not providing a service. He says ABC Learning Center is one of them, knocking on the door in mid-December.
I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Hassan says his employee didn't respond because Shirley was in a group of about 8 people, and his staff were concerned about recent ICE activity.
Is this daycare committing fraud?
No, we're not committing fraud.
Hassan showed us security footage from the same day Shirley was here. According to the timestamps in the videos, this woman takes a young child into the center at around 9 a.m. that day. about 3 hours before Shirley arrives at the door closer to the street. Within the hour after Shirley leaves, a woman arrives at the other door with a stroller. A larger family heads inside a few hours later. Tuesday afternoon, WCCO found at least a dozen children at ABC Learning Center, which is licensed with the state. Records show Minnesota officials last visited the daycare in November, noting some corrected and ongoing violations related to day-to-day operations, but no record of fraud.
What did I do? I'm just a typical human being who wants to live and do the right thing. I have kids to feed.
Umi Hassan, the daycare's current owner, believes these latest fraud accusations are political. Both she and Hassan are Somali Americans.
We pay our taxes. We do whatever we can to be a law-abiding citizen. At the same time, when one Somali does something wrong, we all get collective punishment.
With Shirley's video now approaching 2.3 million views on YouTube alone, they say they are getting non-stop phone calls harassing them.
I was looking for a place for my granddaughter.
With many of those calls attached to out-of-state phone numbers.
They normally say, knock, knock, we're gonna come. You're gonna arrest, something like that.
Hassan says they turned over attendance records to comply with the Department of Homeland Security request. They're now waiting to hear back. CBS News is reviewing records related to the same daycares. All but 2 have active licenses. And Aaron, while the active places have violations related to safety or staff training, there's no recorded evidence.
So he goes to the facilities. Some of them had already been closed for some time. Minnesota officials say that each of the facilities that he visited had been visited at least once in the last 6 months. And so far, they've found no evidence of fraud. So shouldn't he have to provide actual evidence of fraud before just walking up to a building and saying fraud is happening?
Who is he? Like, who gave this guy license to go around and say, I couldn't get into daycare centers, the doors were locked? Like, nobody should be able to walk into a daycare center because the doors are locked. These random vigilante justice, something that people in this country know a lot about, these random vigilante justice seekers who ordain themselves like some sort of law enforcement expert, like he's a random YouTuber. And I just find it laughable that the party of the self-proclaimed pro-life people are celebrating cutting off funding to children. The white evangelical crowd who purports to uphold these Christian values are celebrating targeting communities because of their ethnicity and cutting off care to children. It's utterly ridiculous. And I have to say, only a deplorable human being cannot decisively say it is wrong to target this community. We all heard what Donald Trump said from the White House. To pretend that this is some sort of opinion versus this opinion, no, we hear this right now. And so we have to call these things out with outrage, with righteous indignation that this type of thing, one day it's the Somali community, the next day it's another community. What is hard about saying this is awful? What is hard about saying we should all care about children?
And it's not just racist and xenophobic, it's actually dangerous, because what Donald Trump is doing in targeting this community, it's putting American citizens in danger because it is putting a target on their back. But there's something else that I think is really disturbing, to your point about who this YouTuber is, and that all of a sudden, because he made this video that has gone viral, now DHS and FBI are putting resources into this community all of a sudden?
Well, they're not. I mean, because they actually had already. Well, that's the thing. I mean, those videos that we were showing, those are
but they're
performative.
pretending like
they're
they just found this out.
They're walking into a deli and asking questions and then saying, "Have a nice day." That's not how you investigate fraud.
Correct.
Actually, to the credit of DOJ, they have been investigating fraud. They have been prosecuting people the way that you actually prosecute people. Not
Showing up at 11 a.m. at a daycare that opens at 2 p.m. and saying they're closed, they're committing fraud, is not proving fraud. What did Nick Shirley prove to you in that video that these people are committing fraud?
How could you really prove it without all the paperwork? You got to go off the nuance of the situation. Like I
That's
said,
the point.
he said he went back
No.
two more
Pause real
times.
quick. That's the point then. That's the point then, bruh. If you can't prove they're committing fraud because you don't have enough information, then you shouldn't plaster their names, their faces, their businesses to 500 million people and say they're committing fraud.